Good morning, children. So I'm here with your the next lesson in your Beehive book. That is lesson number 7, Packing by Jerome K. Jerome. Okay, so before summarizing this lesson, let's read these points. Do you like going on trips? What kind of trips do you enjoy most? Yes, we all like going on trips, and since the condition is not favorable in this pandemic, so nobody is going, but still we feel like going and we want to go on a trip. Okay, so what kind of trips do you enjoy most? And adventurous trip, historical trips. Okay, so the trip is just a trip. We just need an excuse to go on a trip. Okay, how do you feel about having to pack for a trip? We feel so excited. Yes. Have you ever discovered on a trip that you have forgotten to pack a few things you very much need, or that you can't find them easily? Yes, it happens with us number of times. Especially it happens with me number of times that whenever I'm packing, I forget certain things to pack, and then when I reach my destination, I realize that, oh, I just forgot to pack this particular thing. So does this make you angry, or does it make you laugh, or laugh at yourself? No, it sometimes it annoys me. Okay, and sometimes it just I'm very much carefree. Okay, just leave it. It's okay. Okay, so this lesson, okay, preparing for trip is sometimes more fun than the trip itself. In the story, the author and his friends George and Harris were author's friend. Okay, and they are packing for a trip. It is a humorous story, children. Humorous means entertaining, funny. Okay, light story. The humor lies in the funny actions of the author and his friends, the way they pack the things for their trip. Okay, so in this, as you can see in the very first paragraph, the author felt proud of his packing skills. He offered to do the packing. His friends allowed him to do so, and they relaxed. But children, the author was not at all happy by this. He never meant this. He wanted them to pack under his supervision, but his offer was misunderstood, and they made him pack the things all by himself. Okay, but this really, irritated the author. How when his friends relaxed, he got irritated. Okay, why? Because people, just you don't feel like when you are all alone working and others are just sitting and relaxing themselves. So this annoys everyone, isn't it? So therefore author was annoyed by seeing this. Okay, now as you can see, the author started packing, and when the packing was over, George asked if the soap was packed. Okay, so when finally the author has finished the packing, his friend George asked if the soap was in. I said I didn't care a hang whether the soap was in or whether it wasn't. I slammed the bag shut and strapped it, and found that I had packed my spectacles in it and had to reopen it. Okay, and then finally what happened? He just refused to open the bag, but he realized that tobacco pouch was left inside the bag, so he had to reopen it. At the same time, what happened that you can just see in this paragraph that I only waited, with the exception of George. Harris is the worst packer in this world. And I looked at the piles of plates and cups and kettles and bottles and jars and pies and stoves and cakes and tomatoes, etc., and felt that the things would soon become exciting. So he had to, George and Harris offered to do the rest. Okay, they were not good packers. They messed up, as you can see in the picture, how they just messed up the things, messed up everything. They stepped on things and broke them. You can see they upset salt over everything. And as for the butter, I never saw two men do more with 1 and 2 pence worth of butter in my whole life than they did. After George had got it off his slipper, they tried to put it in the kettle. Just see how they are just messing up the things. How can anybody put the butter into the kettle, back to the kettle? Just imagine. Okay, so this shows that everything was upset. Now here comes a dog. As you can see in the picture, how a dog named Montmorency, the dog, the author's dog. Okay, he just came and added to the confusion. He sat down to the things which were to be packed. Okay, he put his legs into the jam. He pretended that lemons were rats, and therefore he was just running, running behind them. Okay, not running behind them. He was just he thought that lemons were rats. Okay, and in order to look for those invisible rats, he just messed up the entire thing. As you can see in the picture, how Montmorency got into the hamper in which all the eatable things were packed. And then before Harris could land him with the frying pan, and just see how in the picture Harris is just trying to shoo him off. Okay, so the picture shows that there was confusion all around. Okay, children. Now, here Harris said, I encouraged him, I didn't encourage him. A dog a dog like that doesn't I sorry a dog like that doesn't want any encouragement. It's the natural original sin that is born in him that makes him do things like that. So animals are, when things when there is something, the animals also get so much excited. Okay, the packing was done at 12:50. Finally, the packing was done at 12:50. Now, and after that, they just decided to sleep. Okay. Now, we tossed our beds, and Harris had to sleep with me. He said, do you prefer the inside or the outside, Jay? I said, I generally preferred to sleep inside a bed. Harris said it was odd. George said, what time shall I wake up you fellows? Harris said, 7. I said, no, 6, because I wanted to write some letters. Harris and I had a bit of a row over, but at last split the difference and said 6:30. So ना 6 बजे ना 7 बजे बीच का time, they just chose the mid time, that is 6:30. Okay, wake us at 6:30, George, we said. George made no answer, and we found on going over that he had been asleep for some time. So they were meantime they were deciding the time, and then meantime George had already fell asleep. Okay, so we placed the bath where he could tumble into it on getting out in the morning, and went to bed ourselves. So there was again a question of finding beds. Harris and the author shared a bed while George slept alone. They argued when they should get up. Finally, they decided to get up at 6:30 a.m. and finally they slept. Okay, so this was the This you can see the summary of this chapter, sorry, summary of this you can say the lesson. Okay, so I hope you might have understood. uh, Please go through it again, go through this chapter, go through, sorry, go through this lesson. So children, what did the author want to do when he offered his help? Okay. The author Jerome volunteered his expertise in packing. Expertise is friends. Okay. He just wanted to act as a boss and supervise them. But what happened? They just misunderstood him and made him do the entire packing. Okay. So one more question: why did the why did the author get irritated? Do you think that volunteering sometimes become a headache? Was it the expectation of Jerome that became a cause of his headache? Yes, Jerome gets irritated when he was misunderstood by his friends. His intention was not to do the packing for them. He volunteered just because he wanted to act as a boss and superintend them. Okay, it's just written, it's clearly shown in the lesson. But yes, his volunteering became a headache for him. Okay, and it became headache only when sometimes it happened with us also. We just go for helping, we just go to help others, and then that volunteering becomes a headache. Why? Because we have expectations from it. Okay, we expect that, okay, the same person will volunteer us in return, but that does not happen. Okay, so this was it. Go through this lesson again and then read line by line. Okay, so that you can just answer the questions given at the back of your lesson. Clear, children? So that's all for today. Thank you.